Rolling.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
You're listening to American Slacker Podcast with Matthew Gertz and Jesse Landers.
You'll see here the human male boasts the size of his testicles. I drive great when I'm blood. It's all about the sauce. Good, get him out of here. Get him out of here. Oh man, speaking of fucking, you want popcorn? I'll give you a popcorn kit. I'm just trying to go to Colorado and smoke some weed. Watch your fucking tots, huh? Those are my biscuits. Now, this is all alleged.
On today's episode, bizarre news, movie suggestions, and a prank ranking game.
Welcome to American Slacker Podcast. As always, I'm Matt.
And I'm Jesse, and you may have been expecting just the tip, but we're going to give you a little bit more.
Yeah, hell yeah, we're going to give you a full dose of slackers if you know what we're saying here.
Big thank you to Chuck and Joe for letting us abduct their feed this April Fools. We're doing a little pod swap.
Yeah, and hopefully they're not wrecking our feed too much, not fucking that shit up to where we can't go back to there. You know, we do need to go home at one point. You know, we're going to leave
the keys to your house. You never know what it's going to look like.
We're going to leave your spot presentable, you know? We won't, you know, leave too much habit.
Don't check in that closet, though.
Yeah, definitely don't. I told you not to do that. Come on.
So to start out our weird news, we always like to begin with a little bit of weed news. And this time we're talking about a general consensus across the United States as to legalization of recreational marijuana.
Okay.
And drum roll, people want it. They want it, Matt. They want
Really?
legal weed. It shows that 61% of Americans polled in 2018 showed that they supported it. They want legal weed.
Okay, I could have seen that coming. I mean, who doesn't like the weed? And if you say no, I'm assuming you're in your closet toking up the Mary Jane. All right,
Just doing it in secret. That's what they're all doing.
Tried it at least. Come on, let's be real.
This poll has looked at Americans' opinions on legal and recreational marijuana over the course of many years, going all the way back to 1973, which in 1973, 19% were down with the weed, you know, and then moving on to 1978, you know, 70s was a pretty progressive time. It went all the way up to a high of 29%.
Okay,
But we're soaring past that as of last year at a whopping 61% of Americans. That's over half. I mean, look at how many states we've even covered on the show that have switched over to some form of recreational or medical.
yeah, exactly. And with all the legalizing states, I mean, it's inevitable that the opinion is going to change to the mass, you know, and it's good to finally see it, man. Even driving in Albany the other day, I saw a weed map sign and it had some, you know, nice little stats about the states that have legalized and the great benefits they've received.
It was a Weed Maps billboard?
Yep. And
Wow.
I was just like, wow, I'm going to take a photo of that and put it on one of our stories if I can stop there one day. But it's great to see that because it's like going 2 years ago, it was like still like a hard criminal thing. And now it's like, it's slightly changing here.
And that's interesting that companies are sort of looking at these states that are maybe on the verge of pushing over to legalization. I know that New York, there's a lot of whispers going on right now. So with a Weed Maps billboard, that's looking pretty positive.
Yeah, man. Hey, private campaign and still campaigning, and maybe they know something we don't know. Maybe we are going to see some moves happen soon.
Yeah, it's crazy just looking at this graph. We're going to be posting this up on our Facebook page so that you can see it yourself. But back in 1990, it was only at 16%.
Wow, dude. Yeah, that's
So
crazy.
over the course of like our lifetime, pretty much it's gone up over 50%. It's crazy to see.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Well, they did call it dope in the early 90s.
Yes, that doesn't give it a very good image to go off of.
Yeah. And
But-
cracking eggs and comparing them to your brain on drugs. That whole thing fucked kids up.
We've come quite a long way. Now we got CBD and CVS. So if you want to check out more, maybe take a look at this graph yourself. We're going to be posting it up on our Facebook page on Thursday, like we do with our weed news every episode. So be sure to go over to Facebook, type in American Slacker Podcast, and check out the weed news over there.
Oh, yeah. Man, now let's go down under for this next story, where we got quite an amazing story, I'll tell you. We got a lawsuit that I didn't know you could achieve. I didn't know you could sue somebody for bullying.
Oh, that's a new one.
Yeah, hey, maybe it's just down under in Australia, but who knows? But we're going to Melbourne, where a former employee of a construction company, an engineering company specifically, has quite the accusation, I'll say, against his supervisor. He claims that his supervisor would come into his small windowless office 4 to 5 times daily and break wind directly on him.
Oh, he's doing the old crop dust.
Dude, like a close encounter type of crop dust. Like he's right up on him too. That's the worst part.
That's tactical crop dusting.
Yeah. So, this got old, and then it happened all the way until the employee that was claiming this had happened to him got terminated. Apparently it was because of the downturn in construction work, so the company was downsizing. But
okay.
It's horrible that he was pretty much tortured until the end.
Yeah, that's terrible. This guy has no window in order to like crack a breeze and get a little bit of fresh air in. You're just breathing in recycled poop particles.
It led to where he would eventually bring in cans of deodorant spray, like Axe, and spray this guy when he would come in his office to like try to like spray him away and like cover up the horribleness.
I'm just imagining that clip of like a fire hose fighting like a blast from a fucking flamethrower. It's like, fucking hold it back. No, you shall not pass.
All I know is one flame in that office could blow that fucking place to smithereens.
Oh God,
with
yeah.
all those gases in there.
There's a lot going on. Get this man some windows.
And now after going to court, unfortunate for the victim here, it was claimed that there was no reason to grant him the $1.58 million. So $1.5 million that he was seeking in damages.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
In terms of damage. Maybe I think they shot too high on that one.
Yeah, man. I mean, hey, well, maybe there was like a percentage on each time he broke wind on him. Like he broke it down, counted it out for the, like the 9 months, we'll say he was there. And
fine for each time.
Yeah. Like it was like 3,000 for each time, and it added up to that much. And it was just like, this is what we got here. That's from my lawyer. I mean,
millions of dollars of flatulence damage to be awarded. I'm wondering what that guy's diet is.
I don't know, man. You imagine nothing but beans. Nothing but beans.
Beans and cheese for every meal. Cheesy beans.
A lot of dairy. You're probably right. But that could lead to some other issues, man. Maybe he can only, break wind and he really can't go to the bathroom.
Yeah, that guy needs a doctor. 5 to 6 times a day he's going by?
Yeah, dude, he needs a specialist.
He's literally just saving him up for this person in particular.
Dude, that's what I was wondering too. Is it like he's just like, I gotta go see Kenneth again.
Squeezing the cheeks, run into the fucking Kenneth's office.
Hey, Kenny, I'm gonna need you to
go and file that for me. Oh man, that's a horrendous workplace to be in. I'm glad he's out of it.
No place to be working. That is not an environment that I wish to be in, or for anybody.
How much do you think each fart's worth? If we're breaking it down in that sense, like
3,000.
If you were the judge and you were gonna award it, like how much would you award him for each fart?
I mean, I want to say, he deserves. There should be an extra fine tacked on for it going on and on. That should like go way back. So that's what I'm thinking. Like, yeah, the first one maybe it doesn't sound like it's a couple grand, but when you're up to like we're talking thousands of farts that have been happening in this small office.
Do you include prison time? Go like, does it eventually, because any offense, like if you keep doing it, it's like eventually they're like, all right, you don't even give a shit.
True. Maybe he has to do some time too, but I mean, I just feel like the victim gets nothing out of the prison,
Yeah, that's a good point.
I want to see financial gain on the opposing side.
$3 a fart sounds about right to me.
Okay, all right, you're going cheap.
Yeah, well, I mean, it adds up.
This is salt, dude. You realize poop particles are landing on you.
Yes, I would not want to see that office under a black light.
No, you definitely wouldn't. And it's very unfortunate this guy has to just walk away terminated and broke. Well, I mean, whatever he got paid, but I mean, he was definitely not getting paid enough to get farted on. every fucking day.
And stinky, I'd imagine.
Oh man. Well, he did call the supervisor Mr. Stinky. So
Mr. Stinky.
yeah.
It's manager stinky to you.
Yeah.
We're headed to one of the worst workplaces I'd imagine to work in, McDonald's. And we've all seen them, the videos of crazy incidents happening inside McDonald's. It happens very, very frequently. And I'm not entirely sure what kind of magnet it is. Maybe there's something in the oil they put the fries in that's drawing crazy people or people to act crazy. I know it's addictive. You can get those fries and start just acting a fool.
Would have never guessed it was in the oil, man. I would have never thought that.
It's something that people crave. That's my guess, at least. There's a couple of incidents here in this article that we found that describe different things happening at McDonald's, and one of the things we just had to cover was a food assault. We cover a lot of food assaults here.
They're golden. Let's be real. It's always glorious when you hear about some type of cheeseburger or burrito causing a muck in a place. You know, just a sideswipe to the face. That's the best one.
Weapons.
Tell me what we got. What do we got?
We got, like you said, a burger straight to the face. A 21-year-old male employee became irritated when an 18-year-old female employee was working too slow. And the man threw a cheeseburger in her direction following a verbal disagreement, and he hit her directly in the face.
Oh my God. Not working fast enough. All right. So I really like when there's a little more bits to the argument there. I mean, I don't know if a cheeseburger.
We don't know what. I mean, besides the pace of the job, you know, I think that was the inciting factor.
Well, did she work faster after?
Well, probably not, because the police were called, and the man was handed a misdemeanor battery charge with a court summons. So one of the officers quoted, "It's not something we want to put anyone in jail for." So we all get one. You get one food item that you can throw at people and get away scot-free.
Maybe they had gone to this McDonald's, all the people that are involved in the case, and they were like, yeah, that place is fucking sus. So, you know, he was doing a good thing. We're going to give him this freebie.
I don't think anyone getting paid under $15 an hour deserves a fucking burger to the face.
Yeah, it's just not good management skills. You're not going to encourage them the right way.
There were a number of other incidents that they list here. There was one where a mother was accused. A woman was accused of assaulting her mother with a cheeseburger outside an Indianapolis McDonald's, and the daughter fled the scene. Another where an Oregon man became enraged after ordering 30 double cheeseburgers, and he tried to destroy the golden arches outside the restaurant.
Oh my God.
I don't know why that would be his target.
It's iconic, man. Who doesn't want to take down an icon, you know?
Right? To hit him where it hurts in the advertising. There's another one where February in Cleveland, someone hurled a hot coffee through the drive-thru window at an employee's face. That's brutal.
Jesus, yeah. That's not good, man. You could really fuck somebody up like that.
This is why I'm saying it's a hard workplace. They deal with some of the, they're basically coal miners, the dangers that they're fucking dealing with.
Shit, they should practically be training these people in jiu-jitsu and evasive maneuvering if they're going to work there.
Give them a fucking shield or something at least.
The McDonald's riot shield.
Duck that fucking burger.
Oh, man. They should just have security there, and they're all dressed like Ronald McDonald, hidden in plain sight, how they do with the marshals on planes, you know?
Yep, there'll be one of those statue people on the sidewalk, except a clown.
You act a fool, and Ronald comes and deals with you.
Bars, yeah.
Oh, man. Well, let's go over to Fairbanks, Alaska, another great place that has a lot of lawless shit going on, I feel like, where we got a 26-year-old man who is ripping up the highway on his longboard, having a good old time, right? Very dangerous. Let's add a sword.
The highway. Yeah, seriously.
Yeah. Let's add a sword to this, okay?
Why not?
Because he wants to fucking leave his mark on the old Steez highway, and he's ripping up and down, and apparently he caught up with a truck somehow while he was longboarding and hopped into the back of a truck, and that's when he started threatening the driver.
Oh my God, that's horrifying.
Can you imagine like how terrified would you be?
Samurai fucking rolling up on you while you're doing 80.
What is that? And you hear it like jump in the back of your pickup and you're like, oh God, he's coming in a little window with a sword.
I'd be afraid the Avengers are gonna come and start fucking kicking ass because that sounds like something out of a Marvel movie.
Oh man, you're gonna wish the Avengers were there. Well, the guy was lucky. He stopped at a gas station that was right there on the road, and basically just jumped out, called the police, and the police found this guy not too long after.
Because I assume he didn't have his board at that point.
No, he still had his board. He was being rad.
How did he get it in the car? Like, how do you make that transfer? Truck bed to the
he's a fucking skater, man. He knew what he was doing. He just
samurai skateboarder.
Dude, he did a finger flip jumping out of the pickup bed onto the ground and fucking skated out, slashing 2 dudes in the process.
That's insane.
So he didn't really slash anybody, but he was charged with assault anyway, because I mean, Jesus Christ, you can't just go longboarding up to somebody and jump in their car and start poking around with your sword. All right, come on.
This is an Uber.
And sure enough, they say that alcohol was a factor. So
damn, that just means he has even more skill than I thought.
Dude, no fear. That's where the no fear running with the sword and no less skating with a sword.
Yeah, right. That's the ultimate like antithesis to the don't run with scissors. It's like, how about I fucking longboard down the highway with a sword then, motherfucker?
You know, and even though a sword is like a fucking deadly weapon, I don't know how I feel about like if I could take you seriously if you're coming at me with a sword. It's like,
if someone's coming at you with a sword, I'd hope you take them seriously because that's a deadly weapon.
It depends. I guess, yeah, you're right. They could just easily.
It's just a giant knife if you think about it.
True. I don't know. There's just something comedic about it. Like, if you're going to wield a sword, I mean, come on, there's like better weapons, I feel like.
Yeah, it depends if they're wearing armor because then that kind of backs up their claim.
Yeah. Oh, God. Like a samurai or a knight coming at you like, ching, ching, ching. Then you're really fucked.
I think he knows what he's doing with that. Maybe I should be fucking weary.
Anybody, now that's a game changer. Anybody in armor or combat like style shit that you run.
Get out of there.
Yeah. Especially chain armor. Nobody's more badass than a dude that's running around in 100 pounds of fucking chain armor.
Otherwise, you might lose your head, which brings us to our next article. Surgeons are ready to start human trials for the world's first head transplant.
Ooh, that would come in handy if you lost your head. Separated your head. Hopefully you don't lose it because you're going to need it, apparently.
Yeah. It'd be hard to lose it to that boy because you already kind of lost. Okay, we're getting in the weeds with it. But scientists are planning on doing the world's first head transplant. There's a man who is suffering a muscular wasting disease, and he's a Russian engineer, and they're planning on essentially taking a corpse body and freezing it down to like hypothermic temperatures and then freezing him to hypothermic temperatures, cutting his head off and popping it onto the other body. I guess they've been doing in China surgical experiments on animals, and they found ways to reconnect the spinal column and have it be successful. The animals were able to walk afterwards. So with that, they're trying to go even further and just take this guy's head and pop it on a new body.
Oh my God, this is so fucked up. Like, so they're just like taking the ability to like walk around from animals, and then they're like giving it back. So they're like, we can walk again. Like that's so fucked up to the animal perspective, I'm thinking too.
Yeah.
You imagine?
Yeah, like, and like that. So they've been able to do that, and like as fucked up as it is, it's kind of crazy that they were able to actually repair the spinal column, which is something that a lot of people assumed, was
impossible.
Yeah.
So great.
They're making advancements.
Man, that's wild. There's so many questions about this. This is like something you never would have thought 10 years ago would ever happen. A head transplant.
No,
this is straight
not at all.
sci-fi.
And it still sort of is in the realm of sci-fi. Some of the scientists that have been questioned are calling it quote morally wrong, and they also said it's a long shot. And they don't think that beheading people for an extremely long shot experiment is acceptable. So there's a lot of flack coming back on them possibly attempting this.
Oh man, so many possibilities though. You could go really short. You could go really tall. I know you were saying, what kind of animal would you be?
That was my big question. My big question from this is, all right, so it's going to be your head. but you get to put it on any animal body, and they're gonna connect it so that it works. Like if you need to fly, you can fly. If you want to be like a giant bear, you can be a bear. If you want to run fast, you'll have those abilities. What animal body are you putting your head on?
Man, that's a tough ass question.
Because you'd also have to, I think, consider what your life's going to be like. Like, are you going to be part of society still, or are you just returning to the wild? Because like different,
well, there would be acceptance if this became a norm. It's like it would be publicized. Like, oh yeah, if you see a lion with a man's head, don't worry, it's this guy that's like fucking just got his head transplanted online. He's a crazy bastard, but like, look at it.
We'd be walking around looking like those Greek statues of like the combinations of like different fucking animals.
It's like, can I get like part of my waist in there and like my arms somehow too on top of the 4 legs, like a centilion? Like, what are we doing here? Like, I mean, I don't know, man. A monkey probably, because think about how badass you could do anything. You're stronger than a human by like 5 times. Like, I don't know.
Well, you could go gorilla.
Chimp?
That would be a pretty good
gorilla.
One.
Would be pretty funny because your head would be so little,
and the amount of strength that you have. Yeah, your head would be really fucking little.
Like, what are you guys doing?
Or you go pick cat and like go like cheetah or something along those lines, or a panther.
That'd be so fucking creepy. A cheetah with a human head. Like,
but then you'd also, I feel like you'd be looking at the ground a lot of the time because you'd have to like, or crane your neck up. Might be a little uncomfortable.
And you'd be kind of fucked when it comes to eating because like everything's really, really fucking. You got to get through the hide, which they have like all those like excisors to rip and like pull and shit. So it's like you'd have to like really slice with your hands and like get the soup out of it.
Well, no, you could technically still go and get like a Five Guys burger. It's just like you now don't have thumbs.
Oh yeah, true. Well, what would a Five Guys burger do to a fucking cheetah's stomach?
If I could make him fat, it'd be a fat ass cheetah.
Hey guys, I used to be fast.
So we want to know what animal body you would put your head on. We're gonna put up a poll on the Facebook page at some point. So go over and make sure you like the American Slacker Facebook page and look for that poll. We're interested to see what answers come our way. We'll put our answers on there too. I think we got to think on it. This is a tough question.
That is a tough one. Man, well, where is this getting done? This procedure?
China, possibly.
China, good. It's not in England, not in Leicester, England, especially because we got a hospital that has just had their 8th incident of something going fucking horribly wrong. That's something that should have not happened. Okay, now let's start off with this 8th incident, which is just too fucking great. We've got a man who was going in for a procedure to look at his bladder, to check everything out, get an exam. Just a simple, put me under and do an uncomfortable exam. You don't want to be awake for that camera going through your body and all that. It's probably very uncomfortable. So They put you under like a normal surgery. And apparently they ended up circumcising him because his name was very similar to another's.
Oh no.
Yeah.
There's another Johnson there.
Yeah.
That ended up. What happened to the other person then? They just got a camera up their butt for no reason?
I don't know, man. I don't know if they probably just, knowing this guy's luck, he just got done and they were like, oh shit. Well, let's get him in here and cut him up too, and no camera up the butt. He probably escaped the other pleasant.
See, it would have been nice if they made the other mistake first and caught it.
Yeah, it would have been a lot easier, right? He would have recovered a little easier.
Damn, just going in and tuning up the manhood a little bit.
How typical is the midlife circumcision? I mean, I know we go through like midlife crisis and stuff, but that's a different kind of way I would expect it. Like,
well, it's kind of like getting that new haircut. Like, you just want to change like something a little drastically.
Is it really though? Like,
for some, maybe if you got that option.
Man,
you want to live life a different way.
It's a painful haircut. And this is just one of many incidents. Like I was saying, there was an incident where a swab was left inside of a kid who was having some nasal passage surgery. 2 more patients with similar names had notes merged in the system, and the wrong person had a operation. I don't have the note of what operation, but
wow.
God, hopefully it wasn't like a liver, or anything important being removed.
Are they on the 25 strike rule? Like, what's this do with this fucking hospital?
I don't know, man, because we got a list going on, and we got a patient who needed a new hip, and they put it on the wrong side. So he got surgery, he woke up, and he was like, my hip still hurts on this side, and now it hurts on that side.
Oh, man.
Dude.
That's horrifying. You go into these hospitals expecting them to help you, and then you end up like with another problem essentially.
Yeah. And, you know, it's just one of many instances people are getting fucking pissed. So I think this hospital is on their way to being shut down because they're being investigated now. But I mean, Jesus Christ, man. I just feel so terrified for the guy that was just like, I'm going to get my butt looked at. And instead, they cut his dick up. Like, it took off a quarter of his dick, you know?
That's why whenever I go in to the hospital for any sort of surgery, I hit whatever part they're supposed to work on with a can of spray paint. Just like a nice fluorescent yellow. Just hit the crotch. Like, there you go. Highlighted for you.
Oh, man.
What to go for. In this guy's case, I guess he would have had to spread
it up. You're like, I'm going to put a red X over the crotch so they know not to do that. And then I'll put yellow where they should. And they don't, the yellow, like, they don't notice and they just fucking.
Why does this guy's undercarriage look like a fucking Iron Man?
Yeah, well, be careful out there, people, and make sure you're going to a hospital. Check your hospitals out.
Talk to your physician.
Make sure they're not chopping people up that shouldn't be chopped up.
Yeah.
They're chopping them up the right way.
So we got more dick-related news coming up here in our funny clip. This is a clip that Matt sent me. Why don't you? We'll give you a little taster. What do you want to tell them about this?
All I know is moped helmets these days are getting a little funny.
Yeah, that's
I don't think
for
it's
sure.
stock though. I don't think it's stock. You guys have to check it out.
That's aftermarket.
It's a floppy mess on a moped. That's all you need to know.
We're going to be posting that funny clip up on our Facebook page on Friday, so be sure to check it out over on our Facebook page. Search American Slacker on Facebook. You will find it. We do that every Friday whenever we pick our funny clip.
Oh yeah, and we promise it's not flaccid. All right, now we're going to get into some movies that we've been digging on. But before we do that, we got a word from our buddies at the Dudes with Brews pod.
Hey everyone, my name is Drew and I host a podcast called Dudes with Brews on a Porch where we let the drinks flow and the conversations go. Each and every week, me and a friend of mine, we sit down, we try a different craft brew, usually from the state of Wisconsin, and we just sit down and have a conversation. We talk about all aspects of life. Once a month, we talk about paranormal stuff, and we always have a good time. You can find our show, Dudes with Brews on a Porch, on iTunes, Google Play, and anywhere else you find your podcasts. Grab a cold one and hang out with us each and every week right here on the porch.
And we are back, and it is time to talk about a couple of movie recommendations we have for you guys. And I think you're going to start it off, right, Jess?
Yeah, I got a movie for you. We're doing a couple of comedies here, of course, because it's April Fool's themed for this episode. So I watched a movie called Tag, and I saw this come out in theaters a while back, but I never got the chance to see it there. I caught it on HBO Go when it came out for streaming, which is how I catch a lot of those movies these days. It's rare that I'll actually go out to a theater. I saw Us the other night. That was the first time in a while.
Yeah, same, man. It's so much easier. There's great selections on all the platforms these days.
Yep. So this movie's called Tag. It has a star-studded cast. It includes Ed Helms. It also has Isla Fisher, I'm probably saying her name wrong, John Hamm, Hannibal Buress, and Jeremy Renner. There's like it's like a star, I would say a star-studded cast. Not people you would necessarily consider for a comedy, except like Hannibal Buress and Ed Helms. But this movie was actually pretty funny. It's about a group of friends who have been playing a game of tag consecutively for years, since they were in like high school. And they have like certain rules to it. It comes down to they only play it in May, because like if they played it throughout like the whole year, it would just be like too crazy. So they only do it in May, and they end up having like crazy kind of cut scenes where it goes into like slow motion and stuff, and they're trying to tag each other, which I found to be an interesting dynamic to use for the movie itself. But the main hitch here is that their one friend, who's played by Jeremy Renner, is getting married, and they were actually not invited to the wedding because the wedding's happening in May, and the bride does not want them ruining this wedding playing their stupid fucking tag game.
Oh no. Oh man.
And Jeremy Renner has never been tagged. That's his character's whole thing, is that he's never actually been it. And the slow motion scenes with the breakdown where he's analyzing where they're coming from and how they're approaching him and all this stuff, it's done in sort of like a super spy kind of way. and it's a cool technique that they use. That's probably what I appreciated most about this, along with like the different actors that were in the movie itself. The film was directed by Jeff Tomsic, and he actually has a couple of credits with Ari Shaffir. He executive co-produced Double Negative, Ari Shaffir's comedy special, and he's also an executive producer for This Is Not Happening.
Okay, I love Ari, man. Such a great comedian.
You can watch Tag on HBO. It got a 6.6 out of 10 on IMDb, and it got a 56 on the tomato meter with a 55% audience score. I really enjoyed it. Just even for seeing someone like John Hamm playing in a comedic type of role, along with Isla Fisher. She was really funny. You might know her from, she's been in like Wedding Crashers and Definitely Maybe, which was like a romantic comedy. So there's a lot of really good actors and actresses in this movie, along with it it's fun. It's not one that you need to like invest like a lot of like thinking in. It's just like a fun, funny movie. And I think people would enjoy it.
Yeah, I definitely want to check it out. You were telling me about this one, and I love that Helms. You know, who couldn't, man? He's just that smooth vanilla guy in comedy, you know? I mean, he's just like the next, like, not Chevy Chase, but like a dad. I see him playing a lot of dad characters in the next years to come.
Yeah.
As he has in Vacation and all that.
Yeah, he's been great. And it was just, I enjoyed this movie all around. It's not like, I wouldn't say it's like a favorite movie of mine or anything like that. It didn't like stand out in that way, but it's definitely one that if you want to throw on something funny, it's totally worth it.
I got a very similar film that I'm going to recommend, actually. Like, as you're talking about that, I'm like, you know what? That's pretty much the assessment I would give on mine. Okay. I've got Big Bear. This film came out in 2017. It's also another comedy, and it's got like a reverse Saving Silverman thing going on. It's really weird.
Okay.
It starts out with a guy who gets dumped by his fiance, but he's heading to a bachelor party that his buddies are at, like for his wedding. He got dumped like right before the wedding. And he gets there, and like it takes a while for them to figure out like what happened. So they they're trying to get the cheer up, and they bring him out for a night of drinking.
Okay.
You know, it comes into like this point of the night where they're wasted, and they're like, you know, what happened? And he's like, well, she left me for another guy. And you know, they were like, oh, well, what would you do if you had that guy in front of you? And they were like, really dug it out of him, and he's like, I'd make him dig his own grave. And like, so like that's how the night ends, is they're like drunk and shit, and basically just pass out drunk. The morning comes, and he wakes up, and he finds that his buddies, at least one of his buddies, has brought this guy to his house and put him in the basement tied up.
Oh shit. Yeah.
So it ends up being like this wild antics of this crime's happening, and self-realization of heartbreak, and he's realizing that like his roles that he played in the breakup. So it's like it's a growth film as well. You see the growth character. It's really cool. But there's this fucked up scenario where there's a guy tied up in the basement, and he escapes a few times, and he wants to do the right thing. The main character, Joe, who's played by Joey Kern, funny enough, the guy that is the main actor, the producer, and the director. He did all the ups on the film. And you might know this guy, Super Troopers, the opening scene. I can't pull over any farther. It's
yeah. Oh really? Wow.
Yeah. So I always remember him as that, but he's a very talented guy. I mean, this film was really fun the whole way through, and it has an all-star cast. Joey Kern, Pablo Schreiber, Adam Brody, Tyler Levine, who you might know from like Dale and now I'm gonna mess with the name.
Tucker and Dale
versus yeah. Such a good quirky movie.
That's a great one.
But every movie he's in I love too. But it's a crazy cast, a lot of fun. At the end, everything works out in an unexpected way. And, it's a good movie that'll make you feel good watching it. It's not one of those like shitty ending. I've been seeing a lot of those movies, man, that leave me with like cliffhanger endings or like just like an unsettling ending. It's like I feel so unsatisfied.
Yeah,
this is a closure, and a great story with a lot of laughs across the whole way. And IMDb wasn't too great to it. They gave it a 5 out of 10. But again, as we always state on our show, these meters, we mean nothing. And
Yeah.
fucking Rotten Tomatoes hasn't even had the audacity. They had the audacity to not even rank it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
that means it's great then, right?
Yeah, it must be, man. 59% of users liked it though, so over half.
Nice.
But I really, really enjoyed it, and I think for one of his first big work, big pieces, it's really fucking pretty good, man. I would have thought, as somebody who had been around a long, long time had made this film.
So that was Tag and Big Bear. Be sure to check those out. Was Big Bear on Netflix or?
Yeah, it's available right on Netflix and a few of the other platforms too. So
nice. So be sure to check those two out. Now we're going to get into a prank ranking game. But before we do that, here's something from the Harper.
Hey, this is Jake and Adam from the Hopper.
That's right.
Cutting a promo, but we fucking hate promos.
Promos are tough. What do? We got to promote ourselves, but it's not really our fucking forte.
No, it's not. We fucking hate them. They're a pain in my ass. They're a pain in your ass. So you know what? We're getting through this together. If you hate dumb shit as much as we do, give the Harper guys a listen.
That's right.
You can find us at
iTunes, Google Play, Spotify, Podbean,
Facebook, Instagram, theharperguys.com.
Twitter, at The Harper Guys.
Or shoot it.
What?
That,
Mama?
that's what we do all the time. Shoot us an email at theharperguys@gmail.com.
That's right.
Can't wait to hear from you soon.
Let's do this.
Hip hip.
Cheerio.
And we are back to rank some pranks here on our April Fool's episode.
Oh yeah, and we've collected 5 pretty decent ones. I had never heard of any of these, to be honest.
Yeah, I was really surprised. I mean, I know that people love to fuck with each other, but some people go way out of their way to fuck with each other.
Yeah. Sometimes they're clever. Sometimes they're a little tacky.
And sometimes they can backfire, like in our first one here. This took place in 1958. A group of students at USC, or the University of Southern California, decided that Tommy Trojan, the statue that stands on the campus, would look better doused in manure. So they decided, we're going to rent a helicopter and drop poop on the statue. They were going big.
Damn, helicopter, man.
Unfortunately, the helicopter's rotor blades sucked up the manure into the blades and shot it back at the pranksters themselves, leaving them covered in poop. So
That's horrendous. What was it, like horse poop or something? Like
yeah, it must have been cow manure or something.
Oh.
Scale of 1 to 5, where are we putting this one?
I would have started this one in the middle. I feel like maybe
The middle, just
3.
pop them on 3 for now,
Yeah,
where it slides to.
I mean, you could have done a better delivery.
Yes, I have a feeling that one's gonna be pushing to the end.
The backfired prank, you can't give them you can't give them 1. It backfired.
We'll see. We'll see where they end up.
Well, all right. The next one we got is this is actually pulled off by Taco Bell, man. And I got a hats off to them. You know what I'm saying? April 1st, 1996, Taco Bell Corporation took out a full-page ad that appeared in 6 major newspapers announcing it had bought the Liberty Bell, and they were going to rename it, furthermore, the Taco Liberty Bell.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And this outraged hundreds of citizens, and they started calling it the National Historic Park in Philadelphia, where the bell was housed, and they were letting them know, hey, you can't be doing this. What the hell?
Like, what's next? Fucking mild sauce all over Lady Liberty?
Yeah, they were calmed down later on in the day as Taco Bell released a huge thing that said it was only a joke. Calm down. We did not buy the Liberty Bell. But one of the funniest things that happened that day was White House press secretary Mike Murray was asked about it, and
Oh, really?
quickly responded that the Lincoln Memorial had also been sold, and it would now be known as the Ford Lincoln Mercury Memorial.
I can't believe people actually believe that one. That's a good one.
Hey, man, if it appears in the newspaper, it's like, oh shit, this is real. You know, it adds that realism. So, I mean, shit.
Always good to double check. Where would you put this one? I want to say 2. This is like near the top spot for now.
We can put it at 2. Yeah, we'll put it at 2. They pulled it off.
They definitely tricked some people, that's for sure. We're heading over to Alaska, where in 1974, in Sitka, Alaska, the residents woke to a disturbing sight: black smoke rising from the crater of Mount Edgecumbe. And it's a long dormant volcano, so they're thinking, holy crap, is this thing about to explode on us? Eventually, it was revealed that a man named Porky Bicker had flown hundreds of old tires up into the volcano's crater and then lit them on fire in a successful attempt to fool the people of the city into believing that their livelihood and everything in their life was about to be engulfed in flames.
That's fucked up. That's really fucked up.
He pulled it off. He tricked the whole fucking city.
People are probably evacuating. Like, they're like, oh, we gotta go. Like, trying to escape it.
Right? You never know with a volcano, especially since it said that Mount St. Helens exploded like a few years after this. So it's not like it was an uncommon fucking thing.
It's kind of a dick move.
It is a little bit of
it's kind of a dick move.
Good prank. I think it's taken the number one spot for now.
Yeah, this could go to number one, but it is pretty terrifying, and I'm sure people were pissed off at this guy.
Yeah, let's see if it bumps anywhere on the scale.
Now our next one is quite clever. This is coming from NPR, and they posted a headline to their Facebook page, and it simply read, "Why doesn't America read anymore?" Now, the outrage they received from this story was crazy. They got comments all day, every day.
Internet outrage? No way.
Yeah, man. Come on now. Dude, the comment section will get you. Sometimes I go hours just scrolling. Oh my God, I would have, wow, you know? But yeah, so nothing but, we read every day. You guys shouldn't generalize that way. Things like that.
Okay.
If they had simply clicked on the story and actually read it, what they would have seen was, congratulations, genuine readers, and happy April Fool's Day. We sometimes get the sense that some people are commenting on NPR stories and they haven't actually read the story. If you are reading this, please like this post and do not comment on it. Then let's see what people have to say about this story. So
they fucking got him. They got a whole comment section.
Oh, it's so perfect for the time period too. I mean, everybody does that. They see a headline and they want to be outraged. It's like, you want to, first off, you don't even know if the story is going to give you the full 360, let alone the headline, like the little teeny piece. So getting all outraged, going right to the comment section. Hopefully this stops a few people from doing that.
Does it beat out tricking a whole city? Because this is
but I think it
around the world, possibly.
This is 2 or 3. Though.
2 or 3? I would say, I'm gonna say, it's a close between 2 or 3.
Out of this, because maybe people did learn, and maybe they learned to maybe I should check the facts before I, throw out my words.
All right, I'll agree 2.
2? Okay, yeah, let's go with 2. I just dig it. I think with a good prank with a good moral in it,
Which pushes Taco Bell to 3rd place and the Trojan poop statue to 4th place. So we got our last one here.
Okay.
This one took place in 1953 on the campus of Harvard University. There were two publications coming out of Harvard at the time: the Lampoon, which people may be familiar with, National Lampoon, and the Crimson, which was more of a straight facts, no nonsense type of publication. There's this feud going on between them, so they'd always like to prank each other. The Crimson staffers stole the Lampoon's ibis, which was a large bird statue that they had on top of their office, and the Crimson staffers sent it to the Soviet embassy in New York. And this is during 1953, so this is like Red Scare time and stuff. And the Soviets accepted the gift and thought that it was like an American gesture of friendship. So they fucking got him there, but then to get back at them, the Lampoon wrote a letter to Joseph McCarthy of the McCarthy trials and the whole like blacklisting of people and stuff, and said that he needed to investigate the Crimson because this prank indicated that they have Marxist leanings, and he tried to get him investigated by like federal fucking commissions of like un-American activities.
Oh my God, dude.
This is a prank war.
That's a saucy troll right there.
Yeah,
Damn.
right? I don't know where this one lands in the lineup here. Is it better than the comment section? I don't think so.
No, but it's so good.
Is it better than the Bell?
It could be better than the Bell. It's in this area.
Are we saying it's 3rd?
I think we could say solid middle, third.
Solid third, which knocks Taco Bell, Liberty Bell down to fourth, and our poop-covered statue down to fifth.
Man. So our winner would be the Sitka, Alaska eruption then.
Wow. I didn't expect that to be the best one, but you know what?
You terrified thousands.
Yes.
Thousands. I mean, you got to win.
When you've convinced someone there may be a natural disaster coming, that's a pretty good prank.
Yeah, man. Yeah. And I would say our loser, definitely Trojan poop guys, because I mean they got covered in shit.
That's
I'm glad
literally
to learn about it.
an example of shit hitting the fan.
Yeah, like I'm glad to learn about it, but they're definitely losers.
We know how to not drop manure on a statue now. So we hope you liked our prank ranking game here on our April Fool's edition. Again, thank you to the Just the Tips of Memoir podcast. A big thank you to our buddies Chuck and Joe over there for allowing us to take over their shit.
Oh yeah, and definitely thank you everybody for tuning in. We love each and every one of you, and till next time, that's it.
There you go.
We smoking America. We passing America. I'm mapping America. I'm psyching America. We talking America. We blazing America. This is fucking America. We slacking America.
This has been American Slacker Podcast. You can reach the show by searching American Slacker on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and Reddit. Or send them an email to americanslackerpodcast@gmail.com. You can download and rate American Slacker on iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher, Google Play, and all other podcast platforms. Visit the show's website, aspodcast.com, where you will find every episode, official merchandise, and links to their Patreon if you would like to support American Slacker.
Give me a minute. Think about the seconds that are passing. Man, I gotta go and get it, grab it. Why you gotta go and act savage? Smoking weed, I gotta feed the habit. Now I'm on some other shit. Things that I gotta go get. Medical all on my slip. You falling like dominoes, bitch. Stuck in my ways, fucking high days, fucking sideways in the driveway.
We smoking America. We passing America. I'm mapping America. I'm psyching America. We talking America. We blazing America. This is fucking America. We slacking America. We slacking America.